I didn't scream. I didn't throw anything. I didn't cry. I didn't even move. Because when you find out that your daughter-in-law has been sleeping with your husband, your own husband, just days before your divorce is finalized, you learn the kind of silence that can snap steel in half. I pretended like I didn't know. I hugged her. I served him dinner. I laughed at their jokes. I smiled during fake family moments. But behind that smile, something was burning so violently inside me that I thought it might melt through my skin. Because what they didn't know was that their affair didn't break me. It sharpened me. And what happened at the end? Well, that's why only karma revenge could bring this story forward. Because this, right here, is what happens when betrayal meets patience. And karma finally kicks down the door. Let me take you back. Just 7 days before my divorce papers were set to be signed, I was sitting alone in the guest bedroom of the house I had once called my home. It was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that screams something's wrong. James, my husband of 27 years, had been working late again. Same excuse for the past 6 months. I didn't ask anymore. Because I knew. Maybe not the full details. Not then. But I knew he wasn't mine anymore. I could feel it in the way the bed felt colder. In the way he avoided eye contact. In the way he didn't ask about my day anymore. But I was ready to walk away. We had agreed on a peaceful divorce. No drama. No war. Just closure. And then, Rachel happened. Rachel. My daughter-in-law. The girl I had hugged like a daughter. The one I defended when relatives whispered she was too flirtatious. The woman I helped pick a wedding dress for. The one who called me Mom with that sugar-slick voice. She married my son, Daniel, 3 years ago. And for the first year or so, I actually believed she was good for him. She made him smile. She was affectionate, charming, social. The kind of woman Daniel usually avoided. He was a quiet man. Thoughtful. Sensitive. Rachel brought color into his world. Or so I thought. Because under all that charm, that softness, there was something twisted. The night I found out, I wasn't even supposed to be home. I had a dinner planned with an old friend, but it got cancelled last minute. So I came back early. The house was dark. Silent. I remember pausing in the hallway. The guest room door was closed, something I never did. But light leaked out from under it. And I heard it. Not loud. Not obvious. Just, soft. Rhythmic. Whispers. Laughter. I crept forward like my body was moving without me. And then I heard her voice. Her laugh. The way she moaned his name. James. Not Daniel. James. My husband. Her father-in-law. I didn't open the door. I didn't need to. Because I knew that voice. And I knew that man. I stood there, in that hallway, frozen between decades of marriage and a betrayal so disgusting it made my stomach twist. I could have burst in. I could have screamed. Instead, I turned around, walked back down the hallway, and smiled. Because now I had a plan. The next morning, I made pancakes. Blueberry, Rachel's favorite. She came into the kitchen all dressed up, pretending to be flustered, as if she hadn't just committed the worst kind of betrayal under my roof. Morning, Mom, she chirped. I looked her in the eye. And I smiled. Morning, sweetheart. James came down 10 minutes later, acting like nothing had happened. He kissed my cheek. Weakly. Cowardly. I didn't flinch. Because I wasn't ready to play my card just yet. What they didn't know was that I'd already been documenting everything. I had installed a small camera in the hallway months ago because I suspected James was cheating. What I hadn't expected was to find her. But there she was in the footage. Walking into our guest room late at night. Sometimes leaving in the early morning. Sometimes never leaving at all. I sent the footage to my lawyer. And I told her the divorce deal was changing. James and I were scheduled to finalize everything on Friday. That was Sunday. I had 5 days. And in those 5 days, I didn't stay quiet. I made calls. I sent anonymous messages. I booked one-on-one coffees with people who mattered. Not to ruin them publicly. Not yet. but to plant seeds. And I waited. Patiently. Friday came. James was wearing his favorite blazer. The one I'd bought him for his promotion. He thought he was about to walk away clean with his assets, reputation, and mistress wrapped in family camouflage. But I had something else. After we both signed the papers, I handed him a flash drive in a small red envelope. "What's this?" he asked. I just smiled. "Proof." He plugged it into his laptop. And the screen lit up with her voice. Soft. Sultry. Whispering his name. Moaning. Calling him Daddy. Then my voice, calm, clear. "You just made the biggest mistake of your life." His face went pale. "What the hell is this?" he stammered. I stood. "You thought I didn't know? You thought you could crawl into bed with the girl who calls me Mom and I'd just walk away quietly?" He opened his mouth. I shut it with one sentence. I sent a copy to Daniel too. That's when the blood drained from his face completely. Because our son had no idea. Not yet. But he would now. Later that night, Rachel showed up at my new apartment. Tears. Makeup smeared. Please, I didn't mean for it to go that far. It was just one night. I raised an eyebrow. One night. You might want to check the timestamp on the hallway footage, sweetheart. She fell to her knees. I didn't want to hurt you. I was confused. He was lonely. I was drunk. I knelt down so we were eye to eye. You called him Daddy. That's not confusion. That's destruction. Then I whispered. And I'm going to let you live in the wreckage you created. Daniel didn't say anything for 2 days. Then he called. Mom. His voice broke. She slept with Dad. I stayed silent. He wept into the phone. She told me you made it up. She said you faked the footage. I didn't. I know. And then. She's gone. I kicked her out. Rachel moved in with a friend. Her family disowned her. Conservative, religious. Couldn't accept what she did. James lost his board seat at the company. Reputation damage. Irreparable. I never spoke to him again. But Rachel. She kept trying. Emails. Calls. Letters. Begging. Not for forgiveness. For silence. But I didn't respond. I didn't have to. Because karma doesn't need reminders. It just waits. And then it crushes. 6 months later, Rachel showed up again at Daniel's daughter's birthday. She stood outside the party venue, crying. Daniel told her to leave. She begged me to talk. I lost everything. I finally spoke. No. You gave everything away. And I walked back inside where my granddaughter was blowing out candles. Now I sit on my balcony with coffee and silence. And peace. Because this is what happens when you hurt someone who was already walking away. They don't chase you. They let you burn. You thought I didn't know. You thought I'd scream. But I didn't. I pretended. And that's why you'll never forget me. Only Karma Revenge could tell this story. Because this isn't fiction. It's the kind of truth no one wants to admit. But everyone needs to hear.